Hello, I'm Christopher Jones, also known as Savior2006. I decided that I'm going to start using my channel to make book reviews, because you don't see a lot of book reviews on YouTube. That's root beer. And my first book review is going to be one that I actually didn't like that much, or at all really, by Dean Koontz, called Dean Koontz is the Husband. Okay, so why did I not like this book? Well, first, let's start with the plot. The plot centers around a gardener named Mitch Rafferty trying to rescue his wife from kidnappers. It's actually a kind of a generic, nothing special plot, and as I bought more of Dean Koontz's books, I actually researched some of his history. He had actually had a history of making very imaginative science fiction type plots. So this seems almost like a lazy effort for him as far as making a plot. It's very generic, very straightforward. As far as the climax, it's not that climactic either, because when it comes to these generic thrillers, you're just fighting other humans, in this case hardened criminals, and a lot of the tension wears off once the villains start killing each other, and that's kind of a spoiler right there, and then and that makes it so that the climax, rather than fighting 3 or 4 guys like at the same time, like pulling like a Modern Warfare 2 type of clutch, killing like 4 people in like a matter of a minute or two, Mitch Rafferty ends up just fighting one guy. He ends up winning. I don't think that's a spoiler. He ends up winning in like a matter of seconds. It's not very climactic. I like my climaxes to be more drawn out, personally. As far as character development, development, I want to say that it was both good and bad, because there are 2 different types of character arcs that the protagonist goes through, and the protagonist is the only one who actually ends up being developed. His wife isn't developed. One of the criminals is sort of developed. And what happens to Mitch is that he goes from being a passive gardener to someone who's willing to kill criminals, and it means that he gets to be with his wife, and that's actually a pretty good character arc, I think. I think everyone likes a character arc where like a guy's balls drop and like he starts taking care of business. Another character arc that he goes through is the realization that there is pure evil in the world. How should I describe this? Dean Koontz sets it up as though the main character doesn't think that there is pure evil, but he does, and it says in the book that he knew all along that there was pure evil, despite what his parents said, and parents were a part of his development, trying to teach him that there was no true evil, just people who are rational and people who are irrational. They really don't make any kind of sense whatsoever, and I have a really hard time believing that there are actually parents like that who are just completely so far to the left that they're falling off of cliffs. Maybe I'm wrong. Which is okay. I mean, if Dean Koontz wants to be a moral absolutist, that's okay. The problem is his characters end up taking a hit, not just in this book, but in other Dean Koontz novels as well. The good guys are 100% good, almost 100% of the time. The bad guys are 100% evil 100% of the time, and that doesn't strike me as being very realistic. So the good guys have no flaws. They have no real character flaws. They're not introspective to a fault. They're not patient to a fault. They're not passive to a fault. They're not short-tempered. They have nothing wrong with them. So I have a hard time relating to them because they're perfect. The bad guys, I have a hard time being sold their concept that they're so evil that they have no humanizing qualities at all whatsoever, without exception. It strikes me as almost being like a cardboard cutout how ridiculously evil these guys are. Let's see what else is next. Next is prose. The prose in a Dean Koontz novel, especially as of late. Here's a paragraph. After a little experimentation, he figured out the sound suppressor was threaded to the barrel of a pistol. He unscrewed it and set it aside. That's basically one paragraph right there, and like that's 2 sentences. It's also 2.5 lines of the book. As of late, Dean Koontz has been using very thin prose, which when I first read it, it's like somebody had taken 2 daggers and gouged both of my eyes and plucked them out and eaten them. Because reading this book was actually very hard because it's very scarce. It's not very descriptive unless it comes to the flowers or the wind. Gas, sorry. I liked his older books like Lightning better because it seems that he has more to say, whereas in this hardcover there's a lot more white space. You have the words have a bigger font. They are basically double spaced, all just to get to 300 pages. There's a lot of chapter breaks, and like a chapter heading goes halfway down the page. That's a James Patterson trait as well. I think it's kind of lazy, actually. It seems as if he's trying to stretch out the plot to get to a mandatory 300 some pages, or 350, 300 and actually this one's almost 400 pages, so never mind. He's trying to get to a certain page limit by stretching out the book both physically and in terms of prose. So, anything else? Oh yes, kid gloves. Lately, Dean Koontz seems to write books with an almost light-hearted tone with them. They are much more, there's not a lot of gore, and there's not a lot of swearing either, and this even goes for these bad guys who are supposed to be pure evil, hardened criminals who don't give a crap about anything, and they don't really swear much at all. So for me, after being like such a huge Stephen King fan, seeing a person write what could have been a decent, gritty thriller novel and make it kind of squeaky clean didn't really end up impressing me. I actually didn't know Koontz before I read this book, and when I read this book, I almost thought that, like, I actually thought that like a little kid had written it. That's how much I didn't like this book. In summary, if you aren't a Dean Koontz fan, don't read this book. Do not read The Husband. If you're thinking about becoming a Dean Koontz fan, don't read this book. Read some of his older work. I've read Lightning. That book is excellent. I'll probably do a review on that one later on. Strangers looks like a good read. I remember the beginning for Life Expectancy, which is one of his later works, 2004. Lightning Life Expectancy had a very good beginning. So I'd probably pick that one up before picking anything like this up. So, in summary, I already said in summary, this is not a good book. I recommend that you do not read it.